So this is the last part of the video we started earlier, and this is exactly what you are going to create. Let's close this. Open this again. I'm going to hit the Wix navigation app, and you can see it will first of all show us the login route. Then when we click on the login route, click on any button. Let's say we submitted a form, then we can click on login. Then it's gonna bring us to the home page. Then from the home page, we can click on take me to settings screen in order to move to any other predefined route we already defined. So that's it we are going to create on this video. So guys, don't forget to hit the like button and also the subscribe button. So this is the last part of the video we started earlier. So we started how we can use the Wix navigation, and this is the last part. We're going to talk about the authentication flow, or the method you can switch between routes, especially when you want to switch from something like login to home page. So it's going to kind of be a pretty long video and a pretty descriptive. So I'm just going to also try to make it snappy, but a lot of information are going to come out so that you will have to understand. So just make sure you follow me. Before you continue watching, make sure you hit the like button and also the subscribe button. So right now we have to bring in our navigation. So we are using the structuring, and we have to require that from React Native navigation. So over here, we just have to bring in the navigation. Now, beneath that, we have to bring in our React. Of course, you cannot do without that. Just going to be importing our React. You can actually use the CommonJS method or the EXIS method. So, but let me just stick to the CommonJS method. Then down here, we have to bring in our view, style sheets. We also have to bring in our button. Then we can bring that in from our React Native as well. So one more thing we have to bring in is, let me just bring it here so that, because the button, I will have to explain some things about the button later. I can bring in our text in order to show just a default text whenever our component loads, just like the one you can see on the right side of the screen. So I'm just going to define a very simple component called the home screen, which is going to accept a props, if any, and we have to return a parenthesis to a view, and inside the view we have to bring in a text called hello, welcome to home page. So why I'm doing this way is, in case you just jump into this video, it's going to be explaining to you how you can set up components for routes, and also making use of them, just like when you want to make use of everything I've taught so far from the series. So that's why I'm going from the top to the bottom, so that you can really understand. So whenever we want to use our Wix navigation router, we have to define components. So this can be imported, it can be in a separate file. You can import it and then you can use it. So, but for this one, I'm going to need like 3 components. I'm going to create a setting screen. Same thing we did at the top, returning a parenthesis, view, text, hello, you are viewing settings screen. So permit me to just use this in this method, maybe space it out. And lastly, we have to bring in our login screen. Hello, you can log in below. So not below. So you can see that I've defined like 3 components we are going to be making use of. So using this, we have to register each of these single component with navigation, the register component that we brought up at the top. So beneath here, I'm just going to bring in the navigation.register component. Then first of all, let me just put this down 3 times and explain to you. Now, whenever you want to register a component, you have to specify the name of the routes you are going to name them. If you're familiar with Node.js API building, you can see that we can just create a single route with a name that you like. Let's say API/BoSkills, API/YouTube. So even if I come here and say API/home, it's still going to work. But because we are not building an API, we are working on which navigation, we are going to make use of home. So the first one is going to be home, and we can bring in our home screen. So I'm just going to use this over here. So that's the way we can register our component. I'm going to do this for the remaining two. Settings. Then we can bring in our settings screen. And lastly, login. Can bring in our login screen. So right now we have registered our components, and we can still make use of them till we bring in what is called the event register app launch listener. But for now, let me just show you the basic part of this. So let me kind of open the Wix navigation documentation again. So if I grab exactly what you see here, in order for us to set the route, and I'll come over here, bring in navigation.events. Then we have to register the components. These are pretty longish. That's why I'm using my auto suggest. It's going to be as async. It's going to accept a callback of. Then I can paste what I brought in and save it. So I have an error somewhere. So just give me a couple of seconds. I didn't close this. So I have to close this. So save it. So whenever the app launches, it's going to by default show us the home screen. So let me kind of save this again to say yes. So you can see that it's also reloading by the right. And it says the error is located in, let me kind of fix this. So guys, sorry for this. I didn't expect this coming. So the way we can fix that is, sorry, I forgot that I didn't use a callback over here. So each of these components is just going to be a callback. Just put an arrow function at the front of these components. Can now hit save. So let's kind of refresh, and you can see that whenever our app launches, we are going to be faced with the home screen, and that's exactly what you see here. Hello, welcome to the home page. So we are done fixing that. Let me kind of arrange this. Okay, we are done fixing that, and we don't have any error again. So I'm just going to give this a very default styling. Just going to come down here, home screen, options. Just sorry, just going to reference to the top bar. It's gonna be I think an object with a title, text of home. So let's save and see what we have for the home page. So let's just wait for that, and you can see that at the top here we have our top bar text. So I just put this down just like when you're learning this newly, in case you are watching this video directly, like I mentioned initially. So guys, even as you're watching, don't forget to hit the like button and also the subscribe button. So we are done registering our routes, and everything seems to be working fine. So we don't want the home screen to show whenever our app opens. We want the login screen to show. So how are we going to do that? That means that everything here, we have to get rid of this and construct this in a very different way. But in Wix navigation, this is very, very simple. We can use the JavaScript ternary operation type to achieve this. So I'm just going to get rid of this navigation.setRoute. Just follow me, you're going to really understand what I'm doing. So I'm going to first of all create a route for the login screen. So it's just going to be login route. Let me kind of check what I'm doing. Guys, please forgive me for this delay. Yeah. So for the login routes, this is going to be an object that will accept a route. Also, we can specify our component name of login. So we are using this name of login because at the top here, you can see that we use the register component login as login screen. So whenever you route to login, you're going to be seeing everything from the login screen. So that's exactly what we show whenever our app loads. So secondly, we need to create a route for our main route. So it's just going to be similar to the login route, but we have to get rid of everything here, then we can do what I said, like using the ternary operation type. So let's also specify for the main root. I'm just going to comment this called login root, main root. So guys, sorry for this. So I'm just going to say this one is main root, and it's going to be an object pretty much the same like what we have inside here. So I just have to copy everything here, and now we can cut that, and now we can come at the login root and paste it. So let me get rid of this and just paste that and format it. So we are going to be making use of this once we leave the login root. So that's how we can create our roots object in order for us to have access to different roots whenever we are using or switching between roots, or we want to switch basically from one domain to another. I'm just saying this as an example. So for the set root is going to accept three things. First of all, we are going to bring in is logged in, and it's going to be a function. Then if the user is logged in, you're going to present the main root, else you're going to show the user to log in. So I think that what I said now kind of explain this. Whenever the user opens the app, we want to present the user with everything inside the login root. Else you're going to show what is in the main root. So that's exactly what you see here. So this means that if this is true, you are returning this. If it is false, you are returning this. So it now depends on the developer to work on the logic that can bring in something like the true value or the false value or the Boolean value or even the text value. It all depends on your choice. So we are going to create a function called is logged in. And by the way, we need to return false. Now let's save this for you to see the effect. Now you can see you can log in below. That means that we are faced with the login root. And the login root is coming from here with the component, and the component is coming from login screen. So that's how we can use ternary operator or using a Boolean value to switch our route, or also how we can switch navigation route for with React navigation. Now this kind of look ugly, so let's style this and make this fanciful. So that's why I brought in the button and also the style sheets. I'm just going to come down at the bottom. I'm going to create a default style sheets. Const styles. Making use of the style sheet we brought in .create, which is going to accept an object of root flex1 to make use of the whole full screen, and we have to align everything to center. We have to justify also everything to center, and lastly we can give it a background color of let's use white smoke. So this is just a default style. Also we have to bring in we have to type down the style sheet we want to use for the login itself. We can use the same thing, but let me just kind of give it a different background color in order for you to see clearly what we've done. So I'm just going to make this one login. I'm just going to use the flex one as well. Align all the items to center. Justify it to center, and I'll give it a background color. Background color of, let's use HFF 45100. Not bad. And then you can see that our login route now have another different color. So let's come above here. Inside here, we just have to say styles. Guys, sorry for all these mistakes. Style is styles.login. While for the login, sorry, for the home page itself, styles.root. Now let's save and see the outcome. So for our login routes, you can see that we have hello, you can log in below. Now we want to add a button that when you click on it, is going to switch these routes. This route you see here, in order for us to be faced with the main route. So it's very simple. We are going to use the button we just brought in at the top. So guys, kind of give me a couple of seconds to get things done. Okay. Now for the login screen, you just have to come here, make use of the button. The button is going to accept a title of log me in, and it's going to accept a color. Let's use a white color in order to make the text to be a white text, since we have something like orange background. Then it's going to accept an attribute called onPress. So this attribute is going to return a callback now, which will permit us to use, let me make this directly, to make use of the navigation dots. There are a lot of things you can see over here. So we are going to be making use of the set routes option. Then we can now pass in our main routes. So I don't know why this keeps storing my monitor or my cursor. So you can see that whenever we click on this button, we are going to switch the route from login route to main route. So let me save and see what you are going to be faced with. It's kind of, the color is kind of awkward. Let me use this color over here. 710CE3. Okay, I think it's better, it's more clear. Now when we click on this, you can see we are on the home page, which is very cool and very simple. So lastly, for us to make use of the setting routes, since we already studied here, we can come over to the home components and also make use of the button we brought in. So I'm just going to come at the top over here. Beneath that, I'm going to make use of the button, give it a title of take me to settings. Give it a color. The color is usually something that makes me afraid. 710CE3. Then we also have to make use of the attribute of the onPress. I call these attributes because in HTML they call it attributes. Well, it's kind of something that's also is part of React Native. So permit me, even if I don't use the right word, you can just tell me that on the comment section. So I would really love to learn from you also. Which is going to accept a callback. Now this callback, we are going to bring in our navigation dots. For this one, we are not switching between routes because we have already switched our routes from the login to the to the home page. Now we are on the home page itself. We are not going to be switching between routes. No, we want to take you from the home page to the settings screen. So how we can do that is to make use of what is called navigation.push. Now this navigation.push has something that it accepts. It's going to accept your component ID. You can see over here we have the recommendation at the top of these two box, or something like a notification box. I don't know the right words to use, so I'm just going to say props.component ID. Now we want to push to the component called name of settings. So the name of settings is coming from here, from where we registered our component, which is down here, right? Yes. So we're making use of this. So beneath that, we have to give it an options. We want all these things to move together with our component. So we have to style the top bar, give it a text, a title, not a text. The title is going to accept a text of settings screen. course, when you're building a very nice app, you're not going to use settings screen. You're just going to use settings. So let's see and see the outcome of what you've done. So you can see whenever our app opens, we are in the login, in the login route. Then we can click on login. It's gonna bring us to home page. Then we can take ourselves to settings, and you can see that all of a sudden we are in the settings screen. And because we pushed into this tab, it's going to return a component ID. Of course, we are not making use of that now, but I'm going to see whether I can make a React Native crash course for beginners in order for you to understand deeply of how you can use React Native. So guys, even if as you're watching, don't forget to hit the like button and also the subscribe button. So right now we are in the settings screen and it's kind of looking awkward. I'm going to style it. So come down here and we're going to give these settings. Going to accept a flex of 1, align all the items to center, and now we have to justify the content as well to center. Let's scroll up a little bit, and now we also have to give it a background color. Of I don't know the color to use, but let me use black. Then we can make use of it over here. Styles.settings. Our text is still a black text, which I don't really want us to have a black text. I'm going to give it an inline styling. And I'll give it a color of white and a font size of 19. So let's save that and see what we have. So it says I made a mistake somewhere. Styles.settings, and down here we have styles.settings. It says okay, I didn't put an hash over here, no sign. And let's try that again. Click on login, take me to settings. Oh, it's kind of awkward. So guys, sorry for that. Which navigation? Log me in, take me to settings. Font size. So we have an error over here. The font size. Oh, I added this in a quote. It's just a number. So we don't have any problem again. And you can see that everything kind of looks very, very cool whenever we click on any of this. It's very nice. So that's it for this video. That's it. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and also the subscribe